Okay, so I'm going to keep this short. I'm very upset, people. As if I don't have enough stress in my life, okay? It is August 31st, 2022. Now, I just got a letter in the mail here. You can see. Where is it? You see? Okay. Here's my name. I will read it to you. We'll start with that first. Okay. This came from Ministry of Children and Family Development. I just opened it. Ready? It says, Dear Miss Judy Chorney. It was dated August 29th, which was, 2 days ago? Okay. Here's what it says. This letter is to advise you that I have completed my assessment as required by the Child, Family, and Community Service Act regarding concerns that your children may be in need of protection. Based on the results of my investigation, Amari Johnson and Andre Chorney are not in need of protection as reported. Now remember, I don't know what was reported by that paramedic. I really don't, people. But anyway, as required by the Child, Family, and Community Service Act, the results of this investigation will be kept confidential, and our file is now closed. It's closed. The social worker, Greta, closed the file, people. That's what she's saying. You may access your file information by completing request for access. Okay, that's for another day. Okay, this is not the first time. All right, I've had this happen ever since Uncle John was medically kidnapped. They got like a long list of shit. Okay, this is right. This is just whatever. So now we know that whatever file was there has been closed. Okay. So anyway, but we've got Tisha on a freaking rampage. To which people, I'm cutting loose for a while. I'm serious. I would not allow Brooks to come here and act like a raving freaking lunatic. Okay? And think that he could keep coming back and doing it. Right? Randomly. At any given point. So my son doesn't come around. Hasn't been for years. The 1 or 2 times he did pop in, he was here for a short period of time, spoke with Marcaine, whatever. But outside of that, I have no relationship with my son, my oldest son, Brooks. In part because of his alcoholism and his refusal to quit drinking. Which leads into sporadic behavior that is unpredictable and harmful. Okay? Same thing with Sierra. You know, Sierra was a little more difficult because she wasn't as resilient as Brooks in terms of being independent. Okay? And she always migrated back home. But she negatively affected the whole family for years. At some point, you know, there comes a time when even Sierra had to take some responsibility. Can't blame everything on the social worker because the social worker kicked her out in the middle of the winter, blah, 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 blah. okay? Because at the end of the day, Sierra could have just, for all her rebellion, people, she could have taken that energy, invested it into herself, and rebelled against the drugs, and she chose not to do that, right? Now, I don't know what it's like to be an addict to the street drugs that are out here in terms of the heroin, the meth. I know meth is a bad one in terms of it can draw an addiction very, very quickly. That's why they like to introduce it to kids, because it just takes the one hit to create a lifer from the methamphetamine. So anyway, you know, she's not here no more, people. The only thing that's left behind with Sierra is the memory of the misery. Because there was a lot of misery, okay? So when you think of the misery, you get teary-eyed. Because it's permanent psychological damage that, yes, sometimes you can bury and you can forget about it. But at the end of the day, Sierra really did suffer. Needlessly, people. And her family. I'm not even going to say me, because we all love Sierra. We were helpless to turn it around. Okay. Now I've got Tisha on a rampage because of Andre. I told my son what was going on. I said, she threatened to not pay rent no more. Why? Because of Andre? I said, yeah. She threatened to not help me with the Mari anymore. Why? Because of Andre? I said, yeah. She threatened to call the social workers on me because I won't put Andre in school. Why? Because of Andre? I said, yeah. So whatever Tisha is doing, basically, is the common denominator is because of Andre. Because I won't allow Tisha to bully me into allowing her to go to school and enroll him. So that she can come by 2 or 3 times out of the month, do her spot check, criticize me, ridicule me, put me down, call me down, tell me that everything I own is junk and that she doesn't want anything to do with it, but I'm supposed to live up to her expectation. I'm getting off that fucking bandwagon, people. I'm done. Because, you know, I try and talk to her sometimes, you know, but it goes into an argument because it goes into that girl pissing contest. Because she doesn't have her sister to piss on anymore. So she's pissing on me. And I look back when my girls were growing up, and, you know, they would natter and they would knit her, and, you know, and right, they weren't close sisters, right? Especially when all that drama was coming with Andre being apprehended and all that other shit, you know, with the cortisol going and just whatever, right? You know, like it really does erode the family unit. But besides that point, you know, I just look back and, you know, 2 different girls, 2 different personalities, 2 different mindsets, 2 different goals, 2 different ways of going around to get to those goals. And in there was clashes, you know what I'm saying? Which is okay, life is clash. Always conflict with life, right? But now that Shamay's not here, it's like she's trying to do it with me and putting her thumb on me, right? And, you know, like, I can take constructive criticism. Okay, like, for example, you know, my son is kind of I can tell when my son is feeling somewhat remorseful, right? I can tell that he's feeling somewhat remorseful with that stuff in the garage, right? And he's, you know, he's kind of like humming and hawing, and, you know, and I'm like, look, Marquine, we're past that point now. Just, it's out of the basement now. The worst part is over, right? Now it's time to get it out of the garage and be done with it and put it behind us. And I just explained to him that if my daughters, Sierra and Shamay, would have been alive today, whatever's in the garage would have went to them. And that would be on the assumption that Sierra would be functional. Okay? Shamay, whether she moved out and got her own place, could have taken it with her, or whether she stayed in the basement and used it it wouldn't have mattered. It would have went to the girls for the most part. And being that Marcane was down there using it over a period of years until Marina showed up, and then they decided they didn't want it, that's okay too. Where the vacuum is, it's not a gap, it's like a vacuum, is that if my girls, Sierra and Shamay, would be alive, whatever's in the garage, they would have picked through, would have taken it, used it for themselves, and the rest would have been gone, and it wouldn't have been an issue. But because they're not here, the stuff just went dormant, people. It just went dormant. And because there's only so many hours in a day for me, and there was no need to get it out of the basement as fast as it went out, because, you know, my son, it basically, you know, in terms of the kitchen stuff and what was in the cupboards and, you know, and right, you know, like there was no urgency. So everything just went dormant. Whereas if my girls would have been live, they would have either used it, they would have picked through and take what they wanted to go to their new place so they wouldn't have to pay, right? Right? I tried to explain that to my son. Yeah, I'm losing thousands of dollars in a great grand scheme in terms of, I guess, if you want to put a dollar value on it. But it's just, like I said, I've got Rhea coming over this week to work on the appeal, and she can go nuts. I told her, you're going home in a van. Literally, you're gonna pack up that van. I don't care what, you take what you want. Because if you were my daughter, I would say the same thing to you. So, feel free. Whatever's left, my son said he'll take it out to the front on Saturday. We'll sell it. If we want to do something on Sunday, we'll try and sell it. Whatever doesn't sell, people, is staying on the road, on the curb, and people can take it. Okay? They can take it, because I would have given it to my daughters anyway. Right? It's the fact that my daughters aren't here. It's the fact that I don't want to call it a dream or process or whatever it is. It got chopped down at the knees and everything just went dormant. So, anyway, I'm cutting Tisha loose because every now and then she comes over here. We get into some sort of little butt heads, pissing contest, whatever it is, conflict. She springs into high action, gets loud, starts calling me down, cuts me up verbally, right? Humiliates me, all this shit. Little May is watching this, okay? And then storms off with a Leia May in tow. This is not the kind of relationship I want to have with my granddaughter. Because life is hard enough as it is, okay? Right? These are not the memories I want for a Leia May. And these are the memories that Tisha is importing into a Leia May's brain. Because Tisha herself, with the cortisol or whatever's going on in fucking her life, you know, a lot of it is displaced anger, I'm sure. You know, just spilling it out on me, thinking she can, I don't know what, people. If you think everything that I own is garbage or junk and useless, why the fuck you coming around? She helped me mow the grass 2 times this year. I'm very grateful for it, but at the end of the day, if I really need somebody to mow the grass, I can go up to a homeless shelter and hire somebody for 50 fucking bucks, and they can mow the fucking grass for what it's worth. Okay? If I can't do it by myself. All right? She takes Amari to appointments. Okay, I canceled an appointment for today because she called me and told me there was the appointment today. Right? But she was coming by herself because she was gonna storm around here, huff and puff, make threats, call me this, call me that, so that she can storm off to the school and enroll Andre after she was done with Amari. I phoned her back. I said, look, don't fucking come. Don't come. I'm not opening my door. Like, I don't need to be terrorized like this in my house, people. I don't. Okay? Oh, well, you know, and I said, don't worry about it. I will deal with these. I will take Amari I already told Andre. It's you and I taking Amari now to these appointments. You're not going to hold Amari over my head so that you can say that you do something for me by helping me with Amari, by taking him to appointments, as you're abusing me in the background, calling me down, cutting me up, threatening me with this, threatening me with that, telling me that everything I own is junk and I should throw it in the fucking garbage and get used to the idea, right? Well, you know, you think that you're better than me. You think that you're better than me because you went off and bought some fucking van with Alex, and you drive around in a nice fucking van, and you're gonna buy yourself $1 million fucking home. Well, go buy yourself $1 million fucking home. I'm not asking you for anything anymore, any more than I would be asking for Brooks. Okay? If you can't control yourself, you want to call yourself a mature woman raising 2 kids, well, let me tell you something. This is the way it goes when you got little kids, people. Okay? Let me tell you something, people. When they're little, when they're babies, and they're 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, that's the easiest time when it comes to raising children for the most part. Okay? When they get older, and especially if you're coming in with multiples, that's when it starts to get hard. Tisha hasn't even come into the fucking game yet, and she thinks she's the mother of the year. Okay? Seriously. So she can go. She can go. She don't have to worry about giving me nothing. Nothing. I don't want nothing from her. Right? Nothing. She wants nothing from me. I want nothing from her. And if I have to have no life and be abused by her just so that I can get help, to hell with it. Go away. I'll put a fucking ad up. I will find somebody else to help me with childcare periodically when I need it, if I need it. Okay? As for the appointments, listen, I pay for these half the time, 3/4 of the time, for these fucking taxis going back and forth, taking Amari to appointment. So if I'm already paying, I'll just make plans to go myself with Amari and Andre. And Tisha can look after Alex's dad. She can look after Alex's brother. She can look after her own family. She can do what she fucking wants. She can think that she's living in a fucking castle because she's got a new couch in a fucking apartment. I don't give a shit. I don't, people. I don't. Because she's not anywhere close what I've been through in life. She doesn't know what it means to struggle in life. Whether you can read or not, it doesn't matter. Struggle is struggle. And right now, she's not struggling for nothing. And that's why she's running around acting like she's all that in a bag of chips, abusing her mother. As she's holding everybody in hostage in this house today, August 31st, 2022, where we don't even want to open the freaking door, wondering if Tisha's going to show up with the fucking police. Because I'm not putting Andre in school, when I already told Greta that this is just not the time yet. I already mentioned to Andre, you know, Andre, you pick up with your freaking reading. You have to try a little harder. Look at the trouble that you're creating for me and everybody else. But you see, that's the thing. I'm not going to try and make Andre feel bad that he's creating me trouble. But I'm letting him also know that he needs to grow up a little bit and try a little harder. Otherwise, whatever troubles are around aren't necessarily going to go away, because everybody's got something to say. And this younger generation is downright stupid. Tisha's little boy, Kyrie, reminds me of Sierra. Very needy, cry, if he's not in his mother's arms. Sierra was somewhat the same way. What's gonna happen if Kyrie has a learning disability, to which I'd probably put it at an 80% percentile that he will, just by his nature right now at this early age, with his whatever's going on with his insecurities, attachment disorders, whatever you want to call them. Okay? Because they're way too similar, like with Sierra when Sierra was little. And Sierra definitely had a learning disability. What is Tisha gonna do? Beat him so that he'll learn? so that she can feel like she's a good parent? What is it going to take for Tisha to realize that you can't beat anybody to make them learn anything? Not beat, but just be aggressive, be forceful. It's beyond being firm, right? Be demanding, be bullyish, right? You know, that's right. You know, just do as I say. If you don't do as I say, you know, I'm not giving you. If you don't do this, you don't get that. If you don't, you will stand in the corner if you don't do this. You know, what's she gonna do that for years and years and years and years and years until finally one day Kyrie grows up, comes into contact with the wrong person, and then she's gonna end up getting a Sierra? See, I won't be around to see it. And then who's she gonna blame? Kyrie? Because he couldn't learn what she wanted him to learn on her time schedule, when she herself doesn't even want to take the time to make herself fucking learn, because she's too busy accusing me of preventing her from learning. She's acting the same way like when she was 2. Okay, a tantrum is a tantrum, right? Well, you go take your fucking tantrum and go somewhere else with it. Okay? You want to threaten me with all this shit? You know what? Like I said, people, I will do until I can't fucking do no more. And when I can't fucking do no more, listen, I'm not a stupid woman. I will reach out for help, okay? And I'll make sure I reach out for help in the right departments, okay? Okay? That's what responsible people do. As it is, this is what I'm doing today. I'm not going to record it because, you know, I'm just not. I'm just going to put this up. Honestly, I don't know what the next video will be. I don't know when I'm going to make the next video, because I'm just trying to like focus on the things that need to get done as I'm struggling with this. You know, I got to work on the appeal. You know, I got to get into the yard. I did get my tarp, so that's good. I'm starting to cover up, and I'm not planting next year. I'm not planting next year anything. Very little, if anything. Very little, if anything. Why? Because I've got another young person who thinks that they're fucking ancient and wise with a lot of wisdom and know everything, and yet have the audacity to go after other people that are 2-3 times their age and terrorize them just because they've got some sick point to prove in terms of Julian's sister. So, you know, anything that I do after the fact in this yard will be specific to prevent Julian's sister from contaminating the dirt, digging in the dirt like the dirty little bitch that she is, just so that she can fuck with my head because she thinks somehow she's more superior, just like my daughter at this point seems to think she's more superior than me. Because there's something wrong with these young girls. They're too much on the internet listening to these reaction channels, picking on each other and calling each other down and doing this and doing that, and you know, and have their girl pissing contest. I mean, that's the trend. And then they listen to that, they massage each other, they convince each other that's the right way to be, and then they go home and they treat their own parents like that, or whoever they think they can treat like that. In Julian's sister's case, she thinks she can treat me like that. Right? So I'm gonna make it easy for myself in terms of weed control. I'm going to put the investment in this year, so next year I don't have so many weeds to deal with. If I want to plant, I'll plant. If I don't want to plant, I'm not sweating it, because I can feed my family for 2, 3, 4 fucking years without worrying about anything, people, as the world around me is coming crashing down. That's more than Tisha can say. That's more than freaking Julian's sister can say. The only thing that those two have in common is they're the same fucking age, they're young, and they're dumb. If I'm not going to allow my son to come here and cause the ruckus that he creates because of his frustrations in his own damn life, I'm sure in the hell not gonna allow Tisha to do it. And if she doesn't want me to have a healthy relationship with my granddaughter, because she doesn't want Alea May to love me or be close to me or to like me, because somehow it threatens Tisha with her parenting in terms of that girl pissing contest. Because it seems like she tries to put Alea May in a position where Alea May has to choose between Nana and her mummy, and of course she's going to choose her mummy because she has to leave with her mummy because that's her mummy. But if mummy keeps coming over here randomly having hissy fits and freaking tantrums where she's running out the door in a freaking hissy fit saying, come on Alea May, let's go. Listen, it's better that Alea May doesn't establish those memories of me. And Tisha can just keep her ass away and I will find my own way. Tisha can find her own fucking way. I will find my own way. She's already told me her opinions on Amari, and if something happened to me, what she's capable of doing. What she's capable, not what she wants to do, it's what she's capable of doing. Because there is no want. So I'm not going around in circles, I'm done. Now, I don't know. This could change because Tisha threatened to call MCFD on me because I won't put Andre in school. But Greta already knows that it's just stay on track. Just, everybody is a little concerned, but everybody just has to be a little more patient while Andre himself has to mature through conversation, to learn to accept more responsibility for himself and to buckle down with a bit more effort. Right? As I get these trolls, Julie and sister coming in with their fake user accounts posting a comment, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? Go have your own freaking kid, more than one, raise them, let them get big like you, and then come back and talk to me. Because as far as I'm concerned, a mother that allows their kids to go into other people's yards and steal bikes and potatoes and all this other shit and think it's fucking funny because what? I'm not even gonna go there as to why they do it. The point is that they do it. That mother has nothing to brag about. And that's why Shamay cigarettes were laced with medical fentanyl at that mother's house. Will I ever get justice for that? Probably not. Probably not. Because we didn't see that bitch do it. Right? But that medical fentanyl came from Julian's mother's house. And I doubt it was the mother. Okay? But I almost want to say a mother like that, if her kids went off and raided somebody's garden and came back with a whole bunch of fresh organic garden food, a mother like that would be more than happy to cook it up and eat it versus reprimand her children to try and teach them that that's wrong. And that's why that girl continues to stalk me today, because that mother doesn't teach her daughter nothing.